Good afternoon. My name is John Webberly, and I am an interested candidate for the position that you have posted on Craigslist. I am 39 years old. I am a husband and father of two beautiful children, twins, 4 year olds. One boy, one girl, Jacob and Jordan. They're my pride and joy. A little bit about my past, or basically my skills that I bring to the table. Been either in business development, sales, and or management for mainly my whole career. Started out as a recruiter for one of the biggest staffing companies in the world, owned by Steve Bisciotti. He's the owner of the Baltimore Ravens. Excelled in that. Went from recruiter to account executive to sales manager. Had 18 recruiters working under me. I was focused in the telecommunications industry. It was 1999 is when I got started. Graduated college. By 2002, the telecommunications industry took a big hit. I took personal. A lot of my guys getting laid off, unfortunately, and a lot of my mentors in the company had moved on, so I made the decision to get out of that business. First experience a corporate environment, and obviously, you always look back and see things differently, but at the time, things happened for a reason. I moved on. I'm born and raised in Boca Raton, Florida. Before Boca was what it is today, one of the wealthiest areas in the southeast. I'm blue collar. I graduated dual major, business administration, finance. The reason I got into that was because I was always around or seen a lot of money as I was growing up. And getting out of college, I was money motivated. I mean, first year out of college, I made what, 70 some odd $1,000. Second year, close to 100,000, and I wanted to make even more. And so I got into the securities industry. Started out with Raymond James. My strengths is building relationships, and with Raymond James, we were focused at the time because the tech bubble and stocks were all over the place. We were focused on raising capital from accredited investors for tax-free muni bonds or corporate bonds. A lot less speculation and risk. Problem was with that industry, it didn't take me long of making $300 a day and really building some good relationships. I think we raised close to almost $700,000 in about 8 months, 7 months. Problem was is I was getting beat day in and day out from the competitors by a quarter of a point, eighth of a point. Competitors were a smaller shop versus Raymond James. I was getting to the point where I was extremely frustrated because I was busting my butt. I was establishing relationships, and I was getting beat day in and day out. I couldn't, and there was nothing I could do to change it. So I'm lucky enough met a gentleman who's one of my mentors to this day. He got me involved in government-sponsored enterprises, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, Ginnie Mae, derivative CMOs, collateralized mortgage obligations. This is when the mortgage industry was booming, real estate was booming. These instruments were relatively short-term in nature, principal guaranteed, and coupons in excess of between 20 and 30% that paid monthly. I was a kid in a candy store. I couldn't raise enough money. It was ridiculous. I very soon, within about 18 months, was generating seven figures in income. Did very well. Unfortunately, though, my mentor, he went from making $1 million to $10 million. I had 25 brokers working under me. We were raising money. It was very easy to raise money, and especially with a product like that. But we didn't make a lot of friends. The big firms, the J.P. Morgans of the world, the Wachovia. I mean, you name it. All these different competitors who would not sell those instruments to anybody but their institutional clients. They had a problem, number one, with it, but two, my mentor got greedy. He wanted a plane, he wanted this, he wanted that. He made some very poor decisions, made some very unscrupulous trades, which unfortunately affected me and my guys. I was a Series 724 for that office, and anything that was done within that office ultimately falls on me and my responsibility. He bankrupted a BD. Well, obviously, not to my knowledge. I didn't know anything about it till after the fact. But to make a long story short, became an investigation, federal investigation. The regulatory agencies were involved. The prosecutors, would go after anybody and everybody, myself included. They couldn't find anything with me because I didn't do anything wrong. I hold myself to a standard of morals and ethics that is, especially knowing the responsibilities I had, are unparalleled. But I can't control what somebody else does, and I was loyal to him. And going through the process, I learned after the fact what had taken place. It was a civil action, so it wasn't criminal, but still. Unfortunately, I got slapped with negligence. They couldn't let me go. I mean, the prosecutors to this day will tell you, he didn't do anything wrong other than be guilty by association, and this happened in his office on his watch. So I got slapped with negligence, and I was suspended from the industry for 2 years. Everything happens for a reason, though. Again, this is now at the point now in 2008, 2009, the real estate bubble has burst. Mortgages, mortgage industry was gone. People were losing their homes. People were up to their ears in debt. And had some really, really, really smart attorneys that I knew and worked with. And sitting down with them and with my business background and their brains, these guys were very good at eliminating debt and helping people keep their homes. We understood what was going on. My background, seeing how these mortgages were structured into institutional investments, knowing what was going on in those back offices, I knew a lot of these. I knew third parties were holding the paper that no longer existed. I knew banks couldn't trace all of these, how many times they were selling these mortgages time and again. So between them and knowing that, and the attorneys, we created a business. And I basically learned about lawyers and lawyer referral services, and I created a call center, a lawyer referral service, referring consumers to a group of attorneys to help them either eliminate their debts and or protect their homes. We were doing things exotic, like putting properties in the land trust, stripping the title, and or doing something called quiet title. We were very, very good at what we did. Problem is, you can't beat a bank, can't fight a bank, can't fight the banks. I mean, you can win a battle, but you will not win the war. And learn that, unfortunately the hard way, because Pam Bondi at the time was trying to be reelected as the Attorney General for the state of Florida. A $5 million contribution from Wells Fargo was paid to her, literally about 4 days before she was reappointed. The first thing she did when she was reappointed was freeze all of our accounts. And not only freeze our accounts, but freeze our operations. To this day, you're talking about 5 years later, 4 years later, nothing. Not one action. Nobody prosecuted. Nothing. Nobody did anything wrong. But unfortunately, you learn in business. Things happen. They happen for a reason sometimes. And unfortunately, a very, very lucrative, good business, it came to an end. And, we were deterred from doing anything moving forward. We fought it as long as we could, but it was a never-ending, just throwing money into a never-ending pool of nothingness, because nothing was moving fast. Everything was being pushed off. So I found myself now, after 2 experiences of making a lot of money and achieving a level of success, that I was stuck at the bottom. I made a lot of mistakes then, made a lot of money, spent a lot of money, had a huge ego. I was humbled. I was, brought to my knees more or less, and saying to myself, well, how do you end up here? Like, how can you be so successful? Because I'm somebody very passionate, very driven. I can't stand when people tell me I can't do something. So, another thing about me, I'm an athlete. Played football in high school and college, collegiately at Boston College. Was captain of both in high school and college. As a sophomore in college, and I'm not a big talker. I was appointed captain because of my actions. I led through my actions. I was first in the weight room, first in the film room, last to leave. Same with my job. I'm the first one in there and the last one to leave, especially when I enjoy what I do and I feel good about what I do. So, as I was saying, back to where I was, here I am wondering what am I doing? I got all this knowledge, all this experience, made a lot of money, but here I am, humbled, trying to figure out downsizing in every which way, just getting married, and not knowing what I'm going to do. And my former mentor had brought me in, and we sat down, and he was a court-appointed receiver. Basically, he started out as a vendor for Bank of America. Him and his partner, they worked with the REO properties and the abandoned, vacant, or the bank-owned properties that were in their portfolio. They would put first responders into his business partner was a street cop of 32 years, very tied in Broward and Tri-County area down south. So they put first responders into properties, and Bank of America would pay them $500 a month to maintain those properties, maintain the yards, do all the maintenance, you name it. Excellent opportunity. But it only ran for about 6 months, and then one of the attorneys representing Bank of America said, wait a second, this is a compliance nightmare, an insurance nightmare. If somebody gets hurt on one of these properties, we're liable. So they ended that program. But one of our attorney buddies, one of our former clients, said to him at the time, this is right when I'm coming on board, why don't you approach it from the other angle, from the homeowners associations, from the condominium associations? Why don't you place these properties into receivership? Hence, he became a court-appointed receiver. And he brought me on. The reason we got together was like he had this opportunity, and they had maybe like 75 properties at the time, but he wanted to grow it. And he saw the opportunity to grow it. He knew my background. He knows my ability to build relationships, my ability to build teams, sales teams. And he asked me to come on board to refine the sales process and to, build a sales team. And that's what I did. And I loved the opportunity. I loved the idea. I thought it was a great service. So it's easy when you believe in something. I don't believe it's not sales. It's educating people. So I got in front of the associations, the homeowners associations, and the boards. I got in front of the property management groups. I got in front of the attorneys that represent them. So hence, that's my background. These are my skills. Very good listener, excellent communicator, great at developing and maintaining relationships, very organized and disciplined. I'm reliable with the highest standard of morals and ethics. Let's see. As far as being up to date with technology, I'm very good with social media, LinkedIn, Facebook, Snapchat, you name it. I've been involved or I've done it. As far as I've always been in sales and real estate, hand in hand. My goals have changed over the years, but they're still the same. I'm always going to be money motivated, but it's different now. It's more geared towards being able to provide the lifestyle for my family. Before it was about material things and wanting nice things. Now it's about making sure that they have nice things. I don't have to be a millionaire, but I certainly like to, I like to make money. My goal next 5 years is to own 3 properties outright that are generating cash flow. I want to be out of debt. I want my family to be out of debt. In 5 years and in 10 years, I want 10 properties paid off that are cash flow properties. What do I bring to the table? Unmatched work ethic. I work when I have goals. And I'm part of a team that I enjoy working. I believe in the product and the service. I'm on board 100%, and this is something I want to do. I have a positive attitude. I'm a team player with 20 plus years of experience. I'm not one of these guys who thinks he knows it all. Obviously, I've been humbled. I've done it all, and I've lost it all. So I'm very coachable. Education, I got the dual major. Been looking for employment really since the end of February. And why should you hire me? I think I'd be an outstanding asset to your team. And, this is what I want to do. I want to be involved in real estate. I want to be involved in investing. I want to be involved in building a team. I think you will appreciate the fact that I want to succeed. I know in helping you to succeed. And in return, I hope you would want me to succeed. We would work together as one hell of a team. So, there's my video. Please consider me as a candidate for the position. I think if you sat down or we sat down, I'll forward you my resume as well. You'll see all my experience on my resume. But I think you'll see that I'd be a great fit. And I don't think I'm too much experience or overqualified for the position. I'm humble. I'm willing to start at the bottom and work my way up. Thank you and have a great day.